Good afternoon, actually good evening, because this is coming out to you in an evening slot. How different is this for a CraftStash Live? So welcome to CraftStash Live. We have a fantastic new launch for you today. We are looking at one of the brands from CraftStash, but one of the collections from the lovely Sheena. Now this is brand new. You may have seen a little bit of it on TV just last week, but this is a really in-depth look at it. You're going to absolutely love this collection. So it's called Four Nations. You can see the details here. We have got 6 stamp and die sets plus a paper pack for you. Sheena's going to go through everything, but you do also have the chance to win the complete collection, and I will be giving you details of that a little bit later on. First things first, though, we need to go to Sheena and we need to say hello, because I'm talking about her as if she's not here otherwise. So, hello, Sheena, how are you?
Hello, I'm great. Yeah, I'm really excited. You know what? I'm so excited for this set because it is something different, isn't it? It's really
very.
I haven't seen anything out there like this, and
absolutely
I think it's really appropriate because two of the biggest sports, football and rugby, I think we all have someone in our lives who just is a fan of one or the other.
Oh, honestly, my husband and my son, do you know what, all of them, all the men in my house, football mad, absolutely football mad, crazy.
We've got it covered, Lou. We've got it covered in a really cool way too. Shall I show you what it's all about?
Yeah, go on. Show us all, because we're talking about Four Nations and then we're talking about football. So yeah, tell us how it all ties in.
So what we did was we thought we'd have created a big rugby ball to start with, hence the Four Nations. So that's your base. This is the one that you're going to your base die. So you get a big rugby ball with a crown on there, with a banner, with this like a swag across there, which you're going to tie. You're going to print any of these phrases onto. So make it appropriate for whoever and whatever occasion. So it could be, you could be a nephew, it could be a grandson, it could be an anniversary, and it says for my, with love, brother, with love, husband. So you've got all those different, and also happy birthday. So all those different phrases. But as well as the rugby ball, we have the football.
Oh,
so
do you know what I love? I'm a massive wizarding fan, and it just looks like that. Yeah, I'm not going to go into names because I don't know.
Something like, oh, hello.
Look at that! Yes.
Oh,
fabulous!
Love it, didn't it? I have to thank Debbie for that. Has she just not captured that brilliantly?
Absolutely.
Isn't that fabulous? That was a little. Well, we're kind of like had to sneak that in because you mentioned it, but we'll have a look later. So this is the next foundation one. So you've got your football, you've got your phrases again, same deal. So wings this time instead of a crown, and we can mix and match them. Then this is where the Four Nations come in. So you've got your England, Scotland, Wales, and Ireland. And so for each set, you have the appropriate florals. So you know the way tattoos, men's tattoos, and men's images, they can still look attractive and pretty if they're handled in the right way. Yes. So you've got and also for women, I have been loving the women's football this year. Unbelievable.
Yes.
Oh, just saying, I know, but wow. So much to to personalize, to make it work for anybody in your life, especially men, because we're always having trouble with men's cards. But let's make them pretty and attractive. So on here, if you can see, let me get that in place.
We can see those, yes. So you've got stamps and dies, but a stencil as well.
Absolutely, and the stencil's really thick, heavyweight, so you can get your texture pastes and things in there too. Lots in that thing. But probably yourself, you can show that at some point, Lou, and we can get on with playing. But there's the Wales one. So you've got daffodils for Wales. You've got the swag with the Wales wording on there.
Gorgeous.
You've got Scotland with the thistle. Yeah, it's happened, didn't it?
Oh yes, I love a thistle, but I think it's the colours, the purples that you can bring out in the thistle that I love.
Wait till you see what the team have done with these samples. They're just something completely different. It's very exciting as a designer to be able to bring you something that has got me excited. I love drawing them. I love designing them. And I was so excited to bring these to you because literally I haven't seen anything out there that is just for the sporting fans in your life, but also looks cool instead of just, a football player kicking a ball or a rugby player, running with it. Just really fashionable, contemporary, young, all ages. But of course, we've also got the paper packs. I'll show you the paper pack because this is...
I'd love to see this. Yes, brilliant.
So you've
know.
got this paper pack.
Oh, look at those colours as well.
Oh, gorgeous. Wait till you see them. 8x8. So as always, my paper packs are always the heavyweight paper, which is suitable for inking. You can put your ink on there, you can paint on them, you can blend on them. So think of these as the perfect, just use them and go, or foundation to play onto. Because if you're like me, it's like, I couldn't stick to a recipe. I know someone else who can't stick to a recipe, and she's not sitting very far away from me now, just saying. Maria.
Hello, Maria.
Yeah, there she is. Yeah, so I've kind of called her out on that one. It's like, what we got in here now? Not quite Marmite and chocolate, but she's getting there. So we've got the Wales one here. So look at how pretty that daffodil
They're
is. We're
beautiful.
going to make a card with this.
And they're slightly faded, so they're not going to be distracting from the focal point either.
They're not.
That is amazing.
Isn't that cool? So you've got patterns, you've got planes, and as they should be, a supporting cast. They're not going to fight with your star of your show. So your star of your show is still going to be that funky, big winged football, or you can even put the wings on the rugby ball. You put the crown on the football. You can just cut them, they're dyed. But look how pretty the thistles are. You're going to use these for not just this set. They're just great.
Oh, of course. These are going to go in. They're going to complement lots of other collections that you've got, lots of other collections that everyone's got at home as well. Different brands. They're going to work so well.
Fabulous, Lou. And so those plain a background, you're going to stamp on them. You can use your stamps in the set. You're going to blend them with your inks. There's just so much you can play with. Shall we show you some inspiration?
Please do. Yes, this is the best bit. I love your design team. Are absolutely phenomenal.
Well, they're all right, aren't they? They're
all right.
They're all right. That's it's just like I look at them and I think, wow, because I don't brief them. I want them to get the product with even less kind of help or coaching or suggestions than you guys get, and just see what they make of them. Because then, to me, it might just work in my head, but if it works in their head, then I know it's the right thing. I'm trying to get this in the set. That's better.
That's perfect.
Right,
wow.
So look at that. Isn't that stunning?
So cool.
Isn't
that's
that
all different elements brought together to look like one big image.
Yeah, the stencil inked in the background with the distress inks or whatever. You've got your painted. This could be your pens if you just like to use your alcohol pens. Use the appropriate card, colour your elements in. These are all die cuts. The flowers are die cuts from the England set. And then you can see the banners and the swags across the football there. Isn't that just fabulous? But it's so cool for younguns, who want something that looks a bit, modern and contemporary. And then you've got this is England, so we've got England football, England rugby now, and a more muted version.
Beautiful.
Here. And then different orientations. Don't have to be huge cards. You can make them smaller format, so an 85 card, and you can make it as dimensional as you want. And then, even get creative with it, and you can put as Sharon's done here with a flag in the background. How cool is that?
We are quite lucky, aren't we, that we have quite a simple flag that in England here that we can replicate.
Seriously, some of them you don't want to go there, do you? Oh, we are. And look at that island. Isn't that?
I really love that. I really love how the word island just bends around the ball at the top.
I wanted a die with a swoosh that would all come out in one. You see, you don't want to piece separate letters together.
No.
So by having it the swirls, because there's swirls in the stamp set, and there's flourishes, there's leafy flourishes in there to make it look really cool and again modern and contemporary, teamed up with the graphic, sport element, but then the florals to mix and match it. If you look at this one, for example, see how the swirls have been used with the glittery
gorgeous
card there. Can you see those? Can you see the still?
Love it.
Yeah. Woo, there you go. So it looks kind of magical. Can you see?
These are so unique, aren't they?
Isn't it fab? So use all the different cards. I really, as a card maker, I would need these in my life. There's lots of other ones I just like. They're just pretty colours. But as a card maker or someone who sells me cards because of full angel policy, these to me are like, yes, there is a massive gap in my collection for these guys.
Absolutely. And we're not just talking gents here either, are we? I mean,
oh, absolutely not.
Anyone who is, fond of where they live, maybe where they go on holiday, whatever it may be. It doesn't have to be about the sport either. It can just be about the nation.
It could be. You know, you could just have the florals. I mean, forget the football and the rugby ball. You could just look at the florals you've got in here. Look at the swirls. Look at the textures. You can, for value for money and creative exploration and mixing it up. I think this is one of my best ever sets, I've got to say. As a consumer, I'm looking at these as someone who I'll buy these definitely in a heartbeat.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, 100. I mean, they're going in my basket. Actually, they're already in my basket, but you know. But you've drawn all of these as well. We forget that. You've actually sat and drawn these.
Oh, you know what? And I enjoy drawing these. I love flowers. You know, I love my flowers and I love drawing them. And I've drawn a few in my time. But to have it teamed up with the the sporting elements, I thought, oh, what a fabulous...
How did you find that then? Because obviously drawing a football or rugby ball is very different to what we usually see from you.
Absolutely. You know what inspires me is everything. We were talking about this recently, weren't we, about where we find inspiration, whether it's fabrics, whether it's shops, whether it's magazines for colours, it's nature, a lot with me, it's wherever. And also, you know, amazing tattoo artists who make, put things together that look cool. You know, they'll have anchors of flowers and they'll have all these different, and then you've got, obviously you can go quicker and less colour, but still make them look really cool and smaller format. And then I have to show you this again. Look at that.
I need that.
If you want to pay homage to a certain wizard.
It's a shame I've just had my birthday. You're going to have to save that for me for next year, Sheena.
Absolutely. It's got your name on it. Well, it's actually got Debbie's name on it in a minute because I have to say the ball.
Thanks, Debbie.
But, you know, from Debbie and Sheena, that'll be next year, and Maria and Willow. Yeah, there
Thank you.
With the whole team, you know, everybody.
Yay.
So that's hopefully given me some inspiration, Lou.
Just a bit.
And, you know, that's just the start.
Brilliant.
There's just so much you can play with.
Amazing.
What I was going to say is, I think a good thing to show you to start with, I don't know what you think about, but you know, when you get lots of these elements and you get, wow, there's so much, they're packed in every single pack, it's got so much in it. Before I get into colour, I like to cut like the wind. So I'll cut everything out of a good quality cord. I'm so pleased we've got that fabulous card in stock now as well.
Yeah, I will talk about that in a little while.
Oh, loving it. I've just got a pack down here, so show you.
So finally on CraftStash, exclusive to CraftStash, Sheena has her white texture card, and have we got the black card available now as well?
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? I have to say, I've had people asking about when, because my cards always consistently, they know, if you stampers and painters and colorists know it's going to be great, because we spend so much time trying it out, testing it, putting it through
this is why it's taken so long for us to get it in stock, because you wanted it perfect, didn't you? Now it's got the Creative Craft Products name on it. That's because it is.
Play with it.
Sorry?
We can all play with it.
Exactly, yes. So Sheena has developed this. Sheena's picked it. She's adapted it. She's made sure it's what she needs and wants. But we're all of us, so myself, Sam Calcott, Helen Griffin, Christina Griffiths. Have I missed anyone out? Lots of us, all the design team at CraftStash, we're all going to be using it. So, you know,
fantastic. So I know you're going to love it. So, so this is it. So what I would say is cut everything out. Cut it out with that fabulous card, because you know you're going to be able to colour it in with anything. And then have a look and see what we're going to do to get you some ideas on composition. Before you get mixed up with colour, let's just look at composition. Get your phone ready and start capturing some ideas on how you can play and mix and match, because it's huge, this collection.
Okay, shall we get started with the demo straight away? And then what I'll do is, between the demonstrations, because I know you've got two fantastic demos for us today, we'll recap. I'll go over the competition, the giveaway as well. Right. It's exciting. Fabulous. Okay, let's have a look. What have you got for us now then?
So what I've done is I've cut everything out. So get your die cutting machine out and just cut like the wind. And I've cut out everything using that fabulous new cord that Lou and I were talking about. So that's the first thing. And if you look, you'll see on the die, even on white cord, I don't know if you can pick that up, if it's getting it, you can see, there you go. You can see you've even got detail on there. So you can actually use those lines just to colour. You don't even have to use the stamp if you don't want to. But if you want to, that's cool too. And that's what I'm going to show you how I do it. So cut everything out.
put the die cut machine away, then get your stamps out and position them onto your mat. And then before you do anything, just make sure that you've got them in the right orientation. You know which way up it's going to go, and you've got it fit to your stamp. That works fine for me, so I'm going to pop that there. And because I want this to look kind of like a tattoo-y kind of colour, I'm going to use 2 distress inks. I'm going to use chipped sapphire for a bluey kind of tone, and then I'm going to go over with some black soot. So it makes it look kind of black, but not as black as it might look, if that makes sense. So we're going to now pop that on there. So all you do is ink it up, pop your card on, make sure, look at the outside, look for a quirky shape. And then the important bit here is just always keep one hand anchored onto your stamp, and so that card isn't going to move. And all you're going to do is move across the surface, pressing down, making sure you picked up all that detail, turn it over, and look at how edge to edge and how perfect that is. It's just the easiest way to do it. When you've got precision dies, precision detail and things, that just works a treat. Now, next thing is get yourself make a number 4, number 6 round brush, some water, and I'm going to take some of that water and I'm just going to start blending some of this ink. Not all of it. I don't want the flowers all to look grey. I want them still to look white. I want these to look like little wild roses, which is what they're drawn as. But look at where I've got some shading on these, on the images. So you see where there's hatching, it's a series of lines to basically make it look like you've got ripples and shading between petals, where one petal overlays the next petal. Just almost dry brush. Don't use a water brush for this. It's too wet. It's too watery. So pop a little bit like this. Now, see how I haven't even reloaded the brush with water. There's still enough water in that brush. It's damp enough just to drag some of that shading. I want that leaf to look like it's coming behind that petal. So I'm making sure I'm blending where I've put in that hatching to give it some contouring. This leaf there is behind that one in front, so I'm dragging that water there to darken that. That's all you need, but look at how much cooler that looks. If you want to make it look a little bit more bluey, it's a little bit, you've been a little bit heavier with the black paint, just splodge some of your chipped sapphire and go over, and then just you can add a little bit more of a blue tint, but be careful because it is quite strong, so remember to dilute it, and you can add a little bit in amongst it to give it a little bit of a cooler, not quite as greyish kind of look, but it's still not, it's not black, it's not blue, it's kind of something in between. And that's what I've done with the some elements that I have ready for you. One more thing, if you want those little steamings in the middle to look a little bit more prominent, you can take a little bit of your ink with your brush. It doesn't have to be an expensive brush. Look on the site, look on CraftStash, the Royal and Langnickel got some great sets that are so affordable, but they will form a point as well, which I wish I could do all the time. I go for it, I aim for it, but doesn't always happen. And then you've got the centre of your little flowers there all sorted, and you can see this one I've put more blue on and just worked it a little bit more. Next thing I'm going to do, let me show you, let me clear this up here, wipe this down so I get rid of all that ink. I have got some elements prepared. So we'll start off with this white piece of card here. Again, that fabulous new card that we've been totally oohing and ahhing about because it is essential. So we'll pop that there for you. It's a little bit, I think that surface is still, yeah, it's wet, which is why the card started to bend a little bit. Okay, make sure you dry it properly. Now, as you can see, we've got the soccer ball or the football here, depending on which side of the pond you're on, and that can sit in there. That fits perfectly in there. Then, depending on what, if we're going to go for England, we've got both. We've got 2 lots here. You can literally just create the composition as you want and pop these little guys on here, and you've got your card just about done. But look at how cool that looks with that monochrome, that like kind of tattooy cool look. I just know so many men, that I wish I'd had this for in the past, that would be perfect for them, for their birthdays and different occasions would be absolutely spot on. You can change the elements, so that's England there. Let's bring in Wales. So if you want to pop the daffodils in there, you've got your daffodils you can pop, and again, just, you know, stamp, die cut a few, and then you can layer them a little bit more, but you can see how easy that works. Let's go for Ireland. Let's do Ireland next. We've got the shamrocks here, so we've got, again, you know, just get your phone, take a picture when you get something you like, and snap it and go, right, yeah, I like that, that's cool, that's working really well. We haven't even got the swirls and the flourishes in yet. And then we have Scotland, so we can pop the large thistle maybe coming across here, and then maybe the small one just pop in, you know, maybe it's just, you know, coming across, something like that. Right, now that's the soccer ball, but then we've also got, and notice how I've cut these with the swags and I've bent them a little bit because I want them to look like they're articulated. So, and there's so many different phrases you can put on this, but I've just put, we are the champions. There you go, just saying it in my head, you're fine. I'm not going to go through all of them again, but just to let you see how that would work. You've got your florals for your, say, England there, and you've got your, and then you've got your start of your card. So let's make, as we're going to do a rugby card for the coloured one, let's pop that to one side, and let's pop this together as if we're going to do a soccer or a football card. So we'll pop this here. Now, what I'm thinking is I want a kind of a rough idea of where this is going. So I'm going to find a pencil, and I'm going to just draw a little pencil, loose pencil line, just like this. So I've got a rough idea of where my soccer ball is going to sit. And I think you can just make that out. Yeah, next thing, I've got a series of leafy bits and things. And I'm going to now stamp these and add to the background. Now, these are all drawn, again, as if it's line work, as if you've just, it's not a solid, and it's meant to look like it's been drawn in a kind of sketchy, kind of inky kind of way. It's not a solid image. So we'll pop a couple in there. Just, you know, there's no plan here, I'm just playing with it. This is what I would do. Create a foundation, create a couple of foundations, try them out, see what they look like. Let's pop that there, one over the other. And then just keep popping your football back on there and seeing what it looks like. Yeah, we've got, see how that adds to that really well. It fills that space in. We can add another couple, maybe of this one at the bottom. And it's really, I mean, this is fun. This is, something that you don't have to work too hard to make it look good, is what I always say is a good stamping or crafting product in my book. So we've got those things there. We've got different little flourishes. Let me take some off here. We'll pop this one on. We've got a teeny little leafy one here we can pop on as well. And then, and I'm not even going to stick this together, just so you can see how quickly you can start building these up and put the card together. So you've got background context setting, you've got some little flourishes, and just over stamp them, twist them around, change them around. I'm going to leave that at that for now. We're going to pop this here. I would probably 3D the football, use some of the foam pads, or your glue. I'm usually foam pads woman, because when it's glue, I'm just too messy, you know, so foam pads safer for me. Absolutely 3D that above that one as well. You know, that looks cool, you know, that even if you don't put the florals on. How cool is that card, Maria? That's it, just so quick. That's how quick it can be. That's how quick you can make and sell these. And you could, even if you're doing a craft show, take the stamps and have some banners ready, stamp them to order, really. If you're good at hand lettering, you could put the name in there. That would be perfect. Willow absolutely agrees, and you know, she's right.
She loves the football.
She loves the football. She's used to it, and she, bless that, yeah. Especially loves it when, you know, you're a bit vocal and you score a goal, this, you know, the goal scored. With Newcastle, just saying, she's fine, she doesn't really happen that much. Oh, did I say that out loud? So we're going to pop that there. We've all got our teams, haven't we? We've all got where, you know, just what are you going to do? It's part of the culture, isn't it, Maria? And then, so look, that there. Oh, we haven't even got a stencil in there, Maria. I forgot to put a stencil in. I've done all that. I'm going to pick it all off now. I'm going to show you how to put a stencil in as well. Right, so we've got the stencils here. Right, let's get a little bit of, I want the blue more than anything else, yeah. Let's pop just a little bit of texture in here. I don't want much, I just want a hint of a little bit of texture. Thank you very much. Always the same with stencils. You think you haven't got much on there, and you know what? Bet you have. Pick that up there. Look, see, isn't that cool? Just a little bit of texture. Loving these little brushes. These are coming soon as well. This is something else we're all excited about. These are fab for precision stenciling, right? Okay, finally. And then we're going to do a card with a little bit of colour. Right, fantastic. I'm not, like I say, going to stick that down because I think, you know, we know how the glue thing works. So I think, you know, I don't need to labour over that point. But if you can see how you can just, I would send me that card, but we're not with brother on, you know, maybe.
Yeah, that would
sister.
be weird.
That would be sister. Yeah, I'll send it with sister on from my brother to me. There you are. I'm happy. Right, so that's what I would do. That's take a picture, swap them all around again, take a picture again. Then you've got your composition. And if you're selling again, you can see I can make this card for you with that name on. I can make that card for you with that name on. And as long as they're handmade, full angel policy. Thank you. Let's move on with another demonstration.
Isn't that absolutely amazing? Now, I always stress about the colour, and kind of colour's like the first thing that I always add to a project. But actually, Sheena's just shown me I don't need to do that, and I know you can still make amazing cards, but I think that's something I'm going to keep trying, is just black and white, and well, a little bit of blue and things in there as well, but definitely just eliminate the colour and you really see what you've got. Before we go back to Sheena in a moment, I just want to let you know about the giveaway. Now, we've got this entire collection to give away, so that's 6 stamp die and stencil sets plus the paper pack coming out to one of you. Now, this is going to be over on our YouTube channel. If you're not already watching on YouTube, you need to go over there and follow CraftStash. But within our YouTube channel, there is a tab called the Community tab. So when you click on there, it's a little bit like a newsfeed, blog posts, that sort of thing. And you'll see a post there. And that's inviting you to enter to win this bundle. So please do go over there. And to be honest, if you're not already with us on YouTube, please come on over, because we do have a lot more than just the live videos on there. We have lots of different technique videos and things come up very regularly throughout the week too. So worth subscribing over there. Okay, Sheena, I'm just going to come back to you, my love, because I just need to flip my camera to you. Yeah, that was absolutely brilliant. I love that. Now, can I just ask, you were going on to your new paper there, the cardstock that we were talking about, and you were using your distress inks.
Absolutely, distress inks work brilliantly on. They blend across the surface as well. You know, if it's got a high chalk content,
yeah,
you go across with your blending tools, like my well-loved blending tools. I still use
very well.
And it drags and it grabs it, but not on this card. Brilliant.
But could I do the similar technique with pencils and alcohol pens and all this sort of thing?
Absolutely, it's perfect. It's got just the right amount of tooth on it that will accept your pencils, and because you know you need a little bit of not slick, super smooth surface for pencils. So if you're going to buy one card, even for construction, because the price of this is so, it's I think it's the best value and quality, top quality. So you can even use it for construction. Normally I say keep this for just your colouring, but it's that good, it's that affordable. I'll
tell you what I'm going to do. I tell you what I'm going to do, everybody. I am going to pop in the description for this video. I'm going to put a link to that cardstock. I think there's like, is it 30 sheets, Sheena? She's now going to tell us. She's going to tell us.
Yes, 30, and it's 280 GSM, which is a really good weight. And it's white. It's got a tiny texture, not just enough to hold ink, pencil, but not that, but smooth. It's still smooth for stamping.
Yeah, it's not like your hammer cardstock or anything like that, is it? No, it is lovely.
Not like watercolor or hammer. It's just it's a fabulous card. We were all excited the first time. We were all sat around the table.
Oh, it was ridiculous. Woo! It was absolutely ridiculous, honestly, everybody. If you can imagine all of these card makers, paper crafters, all being given some plain white cardstock, and we were going, oh, wow, this is amazing. God, I can't wait to use this. Simple things. But if you need some more cardstock, if you've been waiting for cardstock. I know Sheena had her cardstock before and everyone's been asking for it. This is what Sheena has now developed as her new version of her, I think it was Willow cardstock, was it called before?
Absolutely, it was. It was Sheena, and then it was Willow, and now it's for everybody, for all of us.
Perfect,
here,
lovely.
So, and it's different card. They've started from scratch again and tried to put it through all its paces, but I think we made a peak here. Just saying.
Yeah, perfect. Perfect.
Brilliant.
Lovely. Okay, so you've got another demonstration for us. What are you going to be doing?
Well, I love this card. So I mean, you know, I can't do every one. So if you're Welsh or if you're Irish or if you're English, you know, but it's fine. We're going to do Wales today, but I'm sure I'll be demonstrating one of everything via Facebook Lives and follow-ups and things like that. So, but for this one, we're going daffodils, a host of golden daffodils, and it's Lisa's card, and I'm going to try and do homage to it. I thought we'd introduce some colour, but not too much, and show you how we can work around that.
Brilliant. Okay, I'll let you get on and do that right now then.
Fab.
Right, so this gorgeous card that Lisa created here, I'm going to do a version of it. It's not going to be exactly the same because I want to show you how we can use those backing papers into the mix, for example. So let me show you what I've done to start with. So I've got the same size backing card here as an 8x8, but I've actually popped this fabulous daffodil backing paper onto there. Now, if I wanted to, I could ink around the outsides a little bit, give it more of a vignette look. I could even paint over some of these daffodils with a wash, which would strengthen it if I wanted it brighter, but I think that is perfect as it is, to be honest. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to layer the centre like this, and that's what we're going to work on now, this centre panel. It's a little bit small. I've cropped it in a little bit because I really want you to be able to see and show off those papers, which I think are just perfect. So next, so we'll pop that to one side. We could actually, let's start off with a little bit of stenciling with this. So I've got the wheels set here, which is the and it's got some fabulous, it's got the land of my fathers and wishing you a smiley sunny daffodilly sort of day. Oh, I love a daffodilly sort of day, don't you, Maria?
I do.
It's going to be a while till we get a daffodilly sort of day, just saying, you know, time of the year. We might have to hang on a little bit for a daffodilly sort of day, but that's fine. You know, as long as it comes, we're okay. So I've got my stencils here. Now these stencils are super heavyweight. Absolutely perfect for dimensional piece, because obviously if you want it to be thick and bumpy, it's got to have some weight to it. So for mixed media, mini mixed media projects, fabulous. So I'm going to use one of these little mini little stencil brushes, which I am absolutely loving. And I'm going to use a couple of colours in the background. I think I'm going to use a greeny colour, which is going to be peeled paint. Now, if you do this with your regular paints, you distress inks, you won't see them on the black card. You need to use your oxides for this. So oxides are opaque, so they'll show up on a dark background. So it's not one of those things where you can use either or. Distress inks which will all be for naught. You won't know they're even there. So look, can you see that little bit there? Yeah. I don't want to do too much. I just want to do a little bit here and there just to give it a bit of interest. Break it up, fade it out, and then because it's a stencil, you're just going to move it around and pop it where you want. Let's do a little bit down here. But I am still keeping it straight because I want it to look like it's a broken kind of grid, a broken wire mesh. So don't have it at angles like this. I'm keeping it, parallel like that. And also try not to be too contrived with like each corner the same amount. I have to say, Maria, you struggle with that, don't you? Because Maria loves a bit of symmetry.
I do.
You do. It's like, it's like if it's got to be there. It's like, let it go. I'm singing it in my head, just let it go. So we've got that there. Now, I could stamp the wording on there, land of my fathers, but I'm not going to because I think, you know how that goes. And I want to go ahead and show you how to colour in the elements. So that is going to go and sit on there. So just that little bit of texture. See how it's already building up. You could even put that stencil texture on your papers if you want, because the papers, remember, are designed to take the ink. Now, next thing is, you've got the rugby ball, and we're going to do, obviously it's rugby this time, and you can use, I've used oxides for the stenciling, but I'm going to use my Faber-Castell colouring markers for this. Now you could be using any water-based markers to do this. I just so happen to have these because I love them. They are artist quality. They're fade resistant. They're as fade resistant as you're going to get watercolour wise, which is always more fade resistant than dye based products too. So if you want this to, you know, be something you're going to keep on and hang on to for years to come, that's a fabulous product. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my pen, and I'm not going to go direct. I've already started this just so that, you know, we can, I don't have to do everything in real time. We can move ahead a little bit. So I'm going to take some colours, and I'm going to think of a lovely aged leather rugby ball. And that sounds really squeaky. I'm not squiggling hard on that. It's just the glass that's making it sound like that. And I've gone with a series of, I've got the dark brown, which would be the, if you're wondering if you have these, the sepia. I have used some, what did I use here? Orange glaze, or did I use the yellow? And I've used some, this one is, bear with, sanguine, I don't know how you say it, what can I say? Don't even do in English that well, let alone the fancy one. So we'll pop that there. So we've got warm kind of colours going on. I'm going to take a brush, and I'm going to start off with maybe the lighter thing. I'm going to definitely go with more of this orangey kind of tone here, because I want it to look like warm aged leather, and I want it to look like the sun's, you know, the highlights on parts of this. So we'll make that really like a tan kind of thing, but just in the middle. And I'm going to warm this bit here. See how that's just warmed that bit up as well? So it's starting to look already like a tanned kind of, you know, rugby ball. Like this. Now I don't know if, you know, I lived in the States for, you know, a while, and I've got family there, and but I don't know if this could also work as a American soccer ball. Let me know, those of you across the pond, if it would work. Well, that's winner chicken dinner, isn't it? Even better. So now we've got that all warmed up there, and then we're going to put the dark brown. So what we're doing is we're kind of wet into wet, so not going straight on with that, you know, the pen, because then it would be really intense colour, and it would grab, especially if my card was wet. So what I'm doing is I'm building it up bit by bit like this, and basically, you know, letting it one colour blend into the next. Now, if you want a more intense colour, because it's already really wet, that card, if I was to keep going over this right now and building it, it would just, you wouldn't be building the colour, it would just be sitting still wet onto the wet card. But can you see how much that one's darkened now? Because that first layer was dry. All right, so then I can, it is taking more colour. So the same for the crown. So I'm using the same kind of colour palette, believe it or not, for the crown. Because if you look at gold, when you see gold, so it sometimes looks almost black. You automatically think, oh, I'll use a gold paint, and that'll look really gold. In actual fact, when you look at real gold, there's so much shine on it that it looks almost, you know, like I say, black in parts, brown, and with a bit of, like, you know, yellowy gold here and there. A lot of it, to make it look super shiny, is actually, you know, darker than lighter. With it's the contrast that makes it look metallic. So again, look, I don't want to spend forever painting a masterpiece here, so you think, oh, you've got to do all that to make this look good. I'm being as kind of loose, as quick, and I'm just putting as much effort into it as I think it needs to have to make it look cool, to be honest. I don't think it needs any more than that. I can go a little bit darker. Again, you know, let's get a bit of, you know, if you want to go really contrasty, you can put a bit of black into the mix here and there, but be careful, because it's, you know, we're talking darker. Yeah, it is. What you're doing when you add the black, even if it's diluted, is you're upping the contrast even further. So if you've gone really pastel and pretty and delicate and don't get too heavy-handed with your black ink, because then you'll have to balance it all out by making everything else a bit stronger, and it'll be like Groundhog Day. You'll keep adding and then adding a bit more and then adding a bit more. Oh. So, you know, just know when to cease and desist, put the paint down, walk away. It's all good. And that's it. So I'm going to put a little bit of a shadow around, definitely under the banners like this, where there's going to be a cast shadow. You need that. If you want it to look 3D, you definitely need under there, and you definitely need the base of that ball. Right, next thing, I'm going to, the banner itself, I could shade that a little bit, and I might do that with a little bit of more of a black on there. So pop that there, water it down a lot. And then, oh, I should mention, a stamp, this has been stamped with what colour was that? I've got it here, old paper. So old paper oxides, or even your old paper distress ink. And it's like stamping, you know, that no line stamping. It looks just like then you've painted it, if that's the look you want. So there's so many different ways you can approach this. And I really love this. Lisa's watercolour is absolutely gorgeous, and it's really delicate and pretty. And I don't want to make it too hard and too strong in the colours, because hers is just so attractive that it just works really nicely like that. But hopefully you can see, if I lift that up now, you've got the rugby ball in full colour. And I would then, before I stick that down, you could stamp these as a die for this banner, and you could cut them out as I did with the monochrome one, yeah, and you can pop them, obviously they're the wrong colour there, you can make them even more 3D. But what you definitely want to do is, while it's wet, shape it, because the thing is with dies, and I keep saying, it's like really cheesy, but think dimension, not just die cutting, dimension. So form them, and if you do it while the card's wet, you'll find that it holds the shape and it dries in that shape much better. So now when that goes on the card, it's not just a flat plane across the card, it's got some form and shape to it. So when I pop it on there, can you see how that's gonna, now the either more foam pads in the middle and less at the side will make it, keep it that dimension, or if you use the glue, more glue in the center. So that's the rugby ball. I'm gonna wipe this up. I'll probably scribble some more out there, but I use so little of that colouring product that I'm not worried about it. So the daffodils, let me show you how we're doing with these. So again, stamped out with that really pale colour, and I'm going to take the colours I'm going to use. So this is the cadmium yellow, just traditional good watercolour colours. You know, they don't call them like sunshine yellow. They're real artists' names, colours that, you know, quality artists' paints are referred to as these colours, and the gold, so they carry throughout the whole of the Faber-Castell range. So you're not going to, you know, if you use one colour in the pencils, in the watercolour pencils, or in these pens, or in the paint watercolours, they all are consistent throughout the range. So can you see it's a very similar palette again? Now much more yellow in this one. So I'm going to take that same brush, and I'm going to take the brightest of the yellow, and I'm going to pop it over there. Now in true watercolour, what you would do is, if you wanted to highlight, you would leave the card white. But the thing is with daffodils, they're not shiny. So you're not going to get harsh highlights on them, are you? You know, they're unless they're like fake daffodils. Maybe they're cellophane daffodils, I don't know. Then they would have a shine on them, a bright, harsh line. But these ones aren't going to have, because they're more kind of true to what they are. So I've used the bright, that cadmium yellow on there. Now I'm using that orange, and I'm using the orange to kind of contour, but I want to keep a lot of that yellow still showing. So look on the stamps where I've given you a little bit of clues where there's a bit of cross hatching towards the base of the petals maybe. And again, just wet into wet, just add in, and you can build this up. The best way with watercolours or any water-based paint to approach it, if you're a little bit worried or nervous about it, especially as well. But it's what watercolor artists do, is they'll not put it all on in one thick layer and have it so it's super strong in that first layer. They'll put it on and then let it dry, and then they'll build it up and add another bit of the layer, and then add a little bit more, and that's how the colours built up in the intensity. So can you see how I'm using now this brownie colour just to go around and just shade around where that little trumpet is, because that's going to cast a shadow. You're going to get a little bit of cast shadow, definitely from this flower to that one and around the petal. And then you were almost done with that. See, honestly, you really don't need to labour over it. Just make a decision. Say, right, I've got 3 colours. Yellow's the lightest, that bright yellow is going to be the base colour for the thing. I'm going to use the orange for the mid for a subtle highlight, and that way I've got definitely got shadow, like around where one petal overlaps the next, or in the centre where the centre of the trumpet is darker, because the light's not in there. That's where I'm going to pop a little bit of this brown, and I've got my daffodils sorted. Right, so green, let's pop a little bit of that. I'm not going to do any more there, don't need it. No, don't need it. Know when to cease and desist, walk away, let it be. As the Fab Four would say, again, singing it just in my head, you're all safe. Let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be.
There must be an answer.
There is an answer, Maria, and I'm speaking words of wisdom, just let it be. Just saying. This is, you kind of might, think that's kind of, quite humorous, but it's not when it's your life. We do this all the time. It's... Yeah, company love us. We're really popular. Oh, whatever, stop. So right, we've got daffodils coloured in, and I'm going to wipe this off now. Let me show you. I think we've got enough of the elements to put that together to show you how it's going to look. Shall we stick it together? Let's do it. So we've got the base card. Voila. We've got the background card. I'm going to use a bit of this fabulous glue and splodge like this. Thank you very much. And just make it so it's centred. The good benefit of a wet glue is you got a little bit of play time and a little bit of wiggle time. And if you've got astigmatism, now I'm trying to do this. Fortunately, Maria, I think you've switched the camera because this is where you get my head in the shot, because you have to look directly over it. This is where I don't move too much if I can help it. Just saying. But sometimes you have to stand up and look over the top to make sure that you've got it, completely squared off and centred there. So I have my elements. I've got my daffs here. I'm giving them some shape again, and I've got them layered up. So cut as many as you want, as many as you need. You can snip this one up. You can easily cut that larger one out from that little sprig there as well. And then we can pop this guy here. We've got a lovely spray of daffs there. We've got our little sprigs and to come across. We've got, another one, we can lay that one up there, just coming across there a little bit, and this one here. I haven't popped the wording on there because I thought, well, you can put any word on that you want. You can have anything in there. Lisa's got We Are the Champions. We've got, happy anniversary and happy birthday and lots of different, but that gives you an idea of how quickly you can pop that together. You can pop as many of these little sprigs in there if you want. You can have solid colours. You can cut them out of your metallic cards and have a bit of bling in it. But that gives you an idea of how to colour it in a really, really simple, easy way. And you are good to go. There's a tiny little bit on this one I need to just pop out, and we'll pop the wheels on there. There you go. And these cut so well as well, these dies. So just little bits like, there you go. Ah, isn't that cool?
Very sweet.
Yeah, you are. Yeah. Fabulous. All right, hope you enjoy that. And obviously it's the same process with any of the other, nations. Have some rugby balls coloured in. Colour in your footballs if you want to do them full colour, or if you want it monochrome. And then, colour in your elements, mix and match, swap them out for, that particular card.
So I think she definitely did Lisa's card justice there. It's absolutely stunning. And those backing papers are a must. And we said earlier, the backing papers don't need to be with this collection. They are so beautiful, but because they're muted, they're just going to go with so much. And you know what? That's actually made me really want spring. Those daffodils, I just want spring. I know we're not even in winter yet, but I'm already sort of thinking, can we get the wet and cold weather out the way with and start seeing those bulbs coming up again? Sheena, thank you so much. I assume you're back on you now. Yeah, you are. Thank you so much for doing those for us. And you know what? Thank you for creating a truly unique collection. It's beautiful. I don't know how your mind does it.
We don't want to go there.
No, let's not. I've heard some of the things that come out of there. Let's stay away for public and not for public ears. Can you give us a sneak peek? What might be coming up next? I know we've only just launched this today, but what are you working on now?
Well, we've got one of the this ranges that you loved was the Shaping Up range, which was stencils with stamps inside. Then it was like a double exposure photo concept. Well, I might just have that all in stamp form now. So you may you might have an eagle flying with trees and landscape within the eagle. That's also a die with then background stencils that will fit in amongst that. There might be giant butterflies that are look like lace, and the ones that are made up of florals. And so there's
goodness.
Wow.
I'm just thinking about our diaries. I think we're thinking mid to late October for those, aren't we?
For the double exposure ones.
Yes.
They're really super cool. I love the light bulb. Oh, wait, you see the light bulb.
Oh, I can't wait. Okay, excited for that. Thank you so much for joining us today. Do you have plans for the weekend?
Yes, the workshop. Coming up, we're planning another workshop, and getting stuff sorted for drawing, sketching as I normally do. Tootling out, having a
keep you busy.
That's my life.
Lovely. Well, thank you so much. We'll be back hopefully on a live very, very soon. Amazing demonstrations as always, and congratulations on another fantastic launch. I can see everyone's loving it already. Goodbye to, I don't know if Willow's round by your feet, but goodbye to Willow, goodbye to Maria, and goodbye to yourself.
Cheers, lovely. Take care. Thanks, everyone.
Take care. Bye-bye. So there's lovely Sheena, who has designed everything within this brand new Four Nations collection. She does draw everything. The time she takes is absolutely phenomenal. So when you're purchasing any one of her stamps, the dies, the stencils, whatever, you know that Sheena has put her heart and soul into that, and you are buying a little piece of art every time. And you can go and purchase this and see all the different purchasing options, because there's always things like bundles and special offers over at CraftStash. So that's www.craftstash.co.uk. If you want to look at our blog as well for offers and competition, things like that, just put /inspiration on the end of that website address. And don't forget to go over to the YouTube channel as well. First of all, subscribe if you haven't already, but then have a look at our community tab and enter to win the complete Four Nations bundle. We will be contacting you if you are a winner about 7 days from today. Right, have a lovely weekend, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and myself and Sheena will hopefully see you again very soon. Take care, and thank you for joining us. Bye-bye.